Lorraine Williams of the Thyroid Trust talking to Joanna Dixon, who's a thyroid cancer survivor. I wanted to ask who's been really sort of supportive of you during when you were diagnosed and all through all of your treatment?
So everybody, to be fair.
Oh.
I mean, you know, my family were really good. It was really hard. It was my husband, on the day that I got diagnosed, on the day that we got the final results after the first surgery, and we went to get the results, and I left my daughter with my mum and dad, and my mum and dad were like, oh, you know, I'm sure it'll be fine, I'm sure it'll be fine. But I already knew, I kind of knew what I'd already made my mind up, that I just knew it wasn't going to be good news. And when they told us, you know, I didn't cry or anything. I was just like, oh, okay, right. And then we drove home with the music way too loud. And but the hardest thing was telling my daughter, because she was like 12, 13 at the time.
Gosh, yeah, must have been really hard.
That was
both of you.
That was by a country mile the worst part, and my parents to a certain extent as well, because when you're a parent yourself, you know you would dread, you know, you would kind of dread to hear that.
Yeah.
But you know, everybody, I kind of came home and had probably 36 hours where I didn't really talk to anyone because I just needed to process it. And I think that did everybody good, because it gave everybody time to process it as well.
Yeah.
So kind of, you know, and then everybody was just really positive. But generally, I think we're quite a positive, you know, I think we're quite a positive family, and, you know, the kind of the friends that we have, you know, everybody's kind of, you know, glass half full people, I suppose.
No, so that's really lucky when you've got that sort of positive outlook on life on your side. It makes such a difference. Yeah,
and when I was diagnosed, we weren't, me and Asa weren't married.
Right.
So, and we weren't going to get married because we'd both been married previously, and we'd been together 8 years, but you know, we were kind of, you know, happily, you know, in the relationship, and everything was fine, and we were like, we don't need to get married again. And on the day that I was diagnosed, when we were driving home with the, you know, the music too loud and the windows open, he just said to me, we're going to get married in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what do you mean? And he said, we're going to get married in 6 months because it'll give you something to focus on. And we did.
Oh, lovely.
We did. We got married on the 28th of January.
Oh.
So that was really good. That kind of really focused us. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's so many people that I could sit here and mention so many people, but everybody was good. And I think everybody knows what kind of person I am, so nobody ever came round and cried, because they knew that I wouldn't be sat there crying, really. And it's just how different people deal with things.
Yeah,
I'm really good in a crisis. I cried when it was all over. That's when I fell apart. I fell apart when it was over, not when it was happening. But that would be true of kind of any crisis that I went through. So